evening and welcome to Meticulous Moments. My name is Juanita Kapp. You can reach me at meticulousmacarons@gmail.com or find me on LinkedIn. Since the COVID-19 pandemic hit the globe, I've had the wonderful privilege to meet a wide array of fantastic individuals. These individuals have truly touched my life in so many positive ways. Amongst this group of people, there are authors, public speakers, life coaches, poets, leaders, and visionaries. They are the unsung heroes of our time. Therefore, I decided to start the Meticulous Moments movement out of a sense of my gratitude. It is my way of giving back to the community. Let us share and reshare their stories in an effort to build a better society. Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Meticulous Moments podcast, where we facilitate community upliftment through leadership development. And today, I have the wonderful privilege of spending time with the amazing Michael Fabber. Let me tell you, we had an interview of note. We spoke about all the BS in this world. We spoke about being real. We spoke about being fake. And I'll just tell you, this was one of the best interviews I've ever conducted. Thank you so much, Michael, for all your time and your effort, your knowledge and your expertise, and for always making everything that we do together special, for making it memorable. Now, for those members in the audience that are not acquainted with Michael Fabber yet, he of course started the Unleash You movement. They are making amazing progress in this world, helping people to develop personally and professionally. And I just see Unleash You growing in leaps and bounds. And I'm very proud to be associated with the Unleash You family. Just 3 posts that I saw on Michael Fabber's Facebook wall that will give you an idea really of who he is. He wrote, "Make all of this worth it, my friend. Life is a gift that we need to unwrap and enjoy." Another time he wrote, "My fear is not death. It is that I will live a life not worth living. Greater things than one's last breath." How beautiful is that? I can just see his heart shining through. And then finally, he says, "It was a dope moment today. Got a message that said you did so much the last couple of years. What could possibly be next?" And then he ends and he says, "Now that is exciting." Our interview was exciting indeed, and I just want to say thank you for everything. Thank you for enjoying this with us, and of course, let us cheer him on and support him in this wonderful mission. Good evening, Meticulous Moments audience. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another enlivening session here at the Meticulous Moments podcast. And this evening, we have the wonderful privilege of spending time with the amazing Michael Fabber. How are you, Michael?
I'm great. How are you? I didn't know it was going to happen so fast. I was really taking in the announcement. I was like, "It's me." How are you? Thanks for having me.
Some confetti.
Right, yeah, I'm going to make it rain. I'm going to sprint dollars everywhere. It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. I've met you a few months ago. We've spoken a little bit, on Messenger. We've been probably on the same Zooms. I'm sure we know and love the same people. But for those who are in the audience who are not familiar with you, will you just introduce yourself to them, please?
What's up? I'm Michael Fabber, part of Unleash You Now. They say I'm like the founder and CEO, but I'm just part of it. It's an amazing community full of rock star, empowering entrepreneurs. We're here to change the world, make the world a better place, and let everybody unleash from all the BS that holds us back and paint our piece of the puzzle that creates the masterpiece that we call this world and this life during our time. So let's get it.
I love it. And, just your originality and the way that you just, you show up always. I was actually in a Zoom the other day and someone was speaking about the BS. And I'm thinking they're talking about bullshit because that's BS, the slang that I know. Right. And they're like, "No, it's for belief system." And I thought, "No, it's for bullshit."
Bullshit. I'm like, "You're telling me your belief system is bullshit is what you're telling me."
I love that. So tell us more about Unleash You. I know I'm in one of the groups there. I would love to know, tell the audience, for those who have not, let me say,
encountered Unleash, because it's quite the experience. Just give them, some background on Unleash You and what you do. We would love to learn more.
Nice. That's awesome. So to make it simple, I say we empower those that empower. All right.
Beautiful.
The ones out there that are trying to make the world a better place by using their master level genius, area of genius, right? Their thing they do that really like can change the needle for someone in a certain position. I want to get them out there and get them to serve more people, because my ultimate goal is to end suicide and self-injurious behavior, because that's how I got here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I want to end that. I know I can't do that by myself or just doing my thing or just speaking on stages. I can't live long enough. So my previous life, as in my young life, I was a good criminal. Right. I was really good at breaking the law. And so now I took that mindset and I was like, well, if I help enough people that help people, I could steal their number and then we can say we did it. All right. So that's what it's all. And in the meantime of trying to do that, what I thought we were doing was helping people build their businesses, and we have, right? But we focus on people with movement-based businesses. And what that means is you worry about impact and income, not just the income part. We believe if we impact enough people and we influence enough people, the income will happen. Right? And so we worry about those two things and moving the needles that way. I thought that's all we were doing. And then I found out the last couple of years that we built an amazing community where it's just rock star after rock star. And people normally see me and they'll join from something I say or do. And then within like 2 weeks, they're like, no offense, Mike, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I just want to be part of the community. I'm like, that's weird, but all right. You didn't have to say the first part. No, but that's what we're doing here. And I'm lucky and blessed to be part of it. Grace has found me.
You are. And something struck me, the vibe, the energy, the whole culture of Unleash You. I find it very interesting, and I have to say it does draw us in. I mean, I looked at you had a live on Facebook, and you were just telling everybody straight, how it is and what it's supposed to be like. And I was like, yes, for once there's someone that doesn't sugarcoat everything. And I actually watched the whole live. That was a few months ago, and I was like, oh, I like this guy, He says it like it is. Yeah. And you said
so I'm always nervous when someone sees me.
Oh my goodness. And you said something before we started this session. I asked you how you were, and you said you are so well because you are on the right side of the dirt. That is so amazing to see that gift of life. That's wonderful.
Damn right. I think I used to be a very angry person because I didn't know how to handle a lot of my life. So I got very angry because I didn't know how to deal with hurt.
Yes.
I didn't know how to deal with heartbreak. Us men, right, especially in my family, we were not hurt. We were angry, like we were mad, right? Because we were manly men, right? My family's very military, right? It's you do not hurt us, we hurt you, right? Mentality. So it was always that I'm not hurt, I'm mad. You hit me, cool, I'm going to hit you harder, right? So I never dealt with a lot of things because you mask it with anger. When you mask it, you don't deal with it, right? Yeah. And when I started doing grateful and thankful thought, some will call it meditation. I try not to say that word because every time someone where I came from, when I heard meditation, you were like, yeah, okay, right? Fluff, and Care Bears, right? Like the whole time, like you make it out to me like some BS. All right, so I try not to use the word because then people automatically can have this perspective that it's like I'm outside with my toes in the dirt, hugging a tree with my hand like this, right? Like, and it's like, no, dude, I literally just sit up. And I just started thinking about every morning 3 things I'm thankful for or grateful for in the morning, grateful.
Beautiful.
And sometimes it's just as simple as I have air in my lungs. It means I have a chance. Right? When I was growing up, all we wanted was a chance, right? An opportunity to prove ourselves. And if we had an opportunity, you got to run with it, right? Then it's on you. It's on no one else. And then at night, 3 things I'm thankful for that day. Just doing that alone wiped out my anger. Where I rarely get angry now. I laugh more than anything. So.
That's the best medicine. Laughter is the best medicine. And 2 things. It's so poetic that you are, that you grew up and that the thought process was all we want is an opportunity, because that's really all of us when we grow up. And I see you now having gone through all that hurt and pain, having built up this wonderful community, this wonderful family. And what does the community do? What does the family do? It creates opportunities for others. How beautiful is that?
100%. All right. I mean, you talk to, you're friends with so many of them. Spencer Jones has talked to you.
Yeah.
is part of the Unleashed. Emilio and Daniela are part of the Unleashed, right? Elena Rodriguez is part of it. Like, there's so many that you can go through. You can go through anyone in there, and no longer are they doing extraordinary things. What we're all doing is opening up room for other people to step up and do their thing through us and with us. Right. I remember when I first got into space, it was so hard to find speaking opportunities, like, especially me. Like, no one wanted me. Right. Like, I have 5 teeth left. I'm a criminal. Right. Like, there was all these things, these like stigmas, these labels people would put on me that made it very hard to get on stage. And so finally it was like, you know what? F it. Like, we'll make our own stage. Like, I don't give a shit. Yeah. All right. Now, I wish I knew more, right? Because I lost a bunch of money doing it at first because I didn't know how to do it. All right. So I was just like, fuck it. We're having an event. And it was just like, blah, 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 lost a bunch of money. And I was like, oh, okay. Let's not do it that way next time. Right. Right. But, right. Yeah. When you create your stage, in return, you're actually creating a stage for others. Wow. And it was not about getting the big names to try to make myself look better, right? I think a lot of people do that. They're like, look who I have, right? And they'll say a name and you're like, I don't give a shit, right? Like, sweet, right? I can see that guy on YouTube for free, right? Like, I don't have to pay you. And one of the things I pride in us is like, I'm not giving you the speaker that's going to make me look good. I don't care about that. They will at the end, but not by name recognition. I'm giving you the speaker that you need to hear to have the impact and transformation you want in your life. Yeah. And that's what we're all about, is giving the space for those people that need to be heard that haven't got the opportunity before.
Wonderful. Creating that space. If there wasn't a space, you created it. Creating that opportunity, really giving people the space just to be. And, you know, I feel so relaxed whenever I engage with Unleash Your Family and with you. It's always so relaxing. And I love when I do posts, I always say #keeping it real. Because I just get this feeling inside my bones when I'm in a setting and I can just feel it's like superficial. It doesn't work for me. I'll always be kind and friendly, but in my mind, I'll be like, nah, that was too plastic for me, you know, not going to go back there.
That's amazing. I love that. I'm the same way. I made a post yesterday. And it's like when I feel that vibe off, all right, like I go above and beyond the show. That is not my vibe, right? Like I'm like, there's a rap lyric that says, "I got your vibe, and I wanted to show I'm less like it." And it's a line in a song, and I was like, "Bet, like that's 100% accurate." Like I almost want to show people like that's not me, right? And that's one of the reasons I stopped wearing a lot of suits. Like, no offense to Jose Escobar, right? He looks good in his. All right, and his gold shoes with the thorns on it that he's going to hurt someone's shins with. I promise you, right? It's intense. But it's like, and I wore suits. I wore 3-piece suits for years trying to fit in. Wow. Yeah. And finally, I was like, you know what? F this, right? Like, I'm just going to be me. And hopefully the best thing I have to offer you isn't the suit I have on.
Yes. Oh,
right? Because if it is, we're in trouble.
If it is, we are in trouble. Oh, yes. No, we have to dig much deeper than that. Now, something keeps popping in my mind. I have to say this before I, go to the next question. I keep wondering if you and I were really Care Bears, because we love to do meditation. Aren't they those little bears that made a beam from your nose?
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
So we should try and figure out which Care Bears we were going to be.
I'm with you, right? Like, people make fun of me all the time because I came from a crime, like trouble background, right? Like, we got in fights, we got in trouble, like we had issues, right? We had issues, right? We had issues. And we took them up with people. And now on my Facebook, all you do is see green and blue hearts everywhere. My friends from back in the day are like, "Yo, Care Bear, what up?" Right? Like, I'm like, oh God, here we go. Right? Like, I'm like, here we go. Right? All day long, they're like, "Care Bear, what's going on?" I'm like, "You son of Jesus." All right, yeah, it's good. It's a good day.
Well, you'll be the one with the blue and the green hearts, and I'll be the one with the pink hearts, if that's fine.
There we go. Bet. I'm in. I'm with you. You let me know where to be, I'll be there.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael. No, I actually didn't know that. And I'm so happy to hear that there are really people out there that's really keeping it real. I'm someone that, I'm in my normal dojo clothes most of the time. You'll see me on social media on selfies. it looks like I only have one shirt. I love being comfortable in my dojo shirt. So I don't care about dressing up and all of that things. Because it's really about the heart. It's about what's behind the surface. But your focus here for me is the opportunities that you create, making stages for people, making them look good. And I was in a live last week where we talked about give other people opportunities. Sometimes step out of the way and let them pass you by and see them, succeed and be happy for them.
Oh yeah, Linda, one of the things I've resonated towards you from the beginning on when we first started talking was that you actually care about other people, right? And that's a huge thing in my world. Like that, I will fight for you if I really feel like you care about other people and not just the image of caring about other people. Yeah. Like there's people I know, they have events, they give away 90% of their tickets and they're like, look at all the people I got. I'm like, dude, that's about you then, right? Yes. Like I don't care if we sell 6 tickets, let's impact those 6.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Right? Let's do everything we can for them, right? Because it's about them.
Beautiful.
Right? It's like the speakers that get on stage. Let's give them the best opportunity in that setting to impact people. So then people go, oh, wow, you remember that person that told us this story? Oh, my God. Right? And those are the things that change lives. And when you really care about that, you might not rise as fast as others, but you'll stay longer. Oh, how we got to be here for 11 years, because I've seen people come in like flash in the pants. I thought it was going to kill us. Right? I was like, oh, they're going to knock us out of business. Right? Like, I don't know how to keep up right now. Right? And it happens. It happens almost every year. Someone comes in that you didn't hear of, and it's like, wow. And then 2 years later, they're gone. And it's because they did all the right marketing things to get hot about themselves. And they didn't make it about other people. And the reason why we lasted longer than most, why we've been in the space 11 years and we're still here, is that 2 things. One, I'm stubborn. I don't quit. And everyone's like, what's your unique skill? I'm like, I don't quit. Like I don't know if it's a skill or not, but I don't quit. Like I will fight to the bitter end. Skill. All right. Dr. Rob McClelland, who's a good friend of mine. He's also part of Unleashed. Yes, he's amazing. And he says a story all the time, and I'm always like, that is us. And he's like, he told John Maxwell, he's like, I don't know if I'll get the result you want, but if I don't get it, you'll find my dead body frozen in the direction it was going to get it done. And I'm like, that is how we look at this, right? That's how we look at this. It's like, we're either going to get it done, or you're going to find my body in the direction in which to get it done. And either way, we made progress and we serve people and we help people. And I see that at your core, at your heart, that's what you're about. And that's why I love it. That's why I wanted to be here. And I'm honored to be part of everything that you're part of.
Thank you, Michael. That means a lot to me, especially coming from you. I really look up to you, and your community is amazing. And there's so many things that we connect on. Because, we send we have our bios and we send it when people have us, us speaking. And my hashtag at the end of my bio is never give up. And I always teach everyone that even if you have to do something and you're scared, then you do it scared. But you don't back away, you don't walk away, you do it.
I'm scared right now. I'm sweating from my mustache.
I love it. Tell me, how do you facilitate personal and professional growth? I know you and I are both people that want to learn and grow and grow. What do you do? What are your secrets to growing?
For myself?
Yes, for yourself.
People are not going to like my answer, right? I'm hard about this. I invest. Right? Like I invest like crazy. I invest a lot of time. I invest a lot of money in my own growth. A story about us. So 2019, we tried to have a mega conference. Well, we did have a mega conference. What I learned with mega conferences is they're very expensive. All right. I was not aware of that to begin with. Right. Oh. So when I did it, I didn't put the system in place to properly operate to make money from it. Yes, so by the end, after I did as many maneuvers as possible to make us not lose everything, we lost $65,000. Right, of an event that cost hundreds. Right, so we lost 65, and after it, man, our team did so amazing. Right, like the event was amazing. There's people that still literally are part of us strictly just because of the 2019 event. Right, and so people will make fun of it. I'll make fun of it at times, but the transformation that happened there and the connection, the life-changing stuff that happened in that room is something I'm so glad it happened, and it changed the business trajectory forever in a great way.
Wonderful.
But there was something that happened after. When I talked to the team, I gave everybody off Monday. I was like, guys, enjoy your family, enjoy off time, right? Like we were busting our butts for this, right? Like straight, just not, the deal with events. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of time. And when you are leading up to the event and then having the event after it, you're like, right? Like it's a huge load off. All right. It's like, finally I can stop being on. All right. I feel like the Disney style management for like 3 months straight, you're on. Right. And it's like, give me a day where I'm not on. Right. And so I gave everyone off and I came to the office and I did something that we still have yet to turn back because it worked so well for us. And I don't tell everyone to do this. Like most of the things in my life, I don't tell everyone to do it. It worked for us. And I took everything out of our marketing and advertising budget and I put it into our personal growth budget for our team and myself.
Oh, wow.
And so I go, like you said, like you are, I love learning. I love being put into. I love experiencing and becoming the Care Bear, the butterfly that you're meant to become, right? The transformation, the shift of me. I'm a very different person than I was. Like, I feel bad for the people that knew me 10 years ago because I'm a complete different, better me now, right? Or the people that knew me 5 years ago. I have an ex-wife, and I actually sent a letter to her, and I said, I'm so sorry I wasn't the best me for you.
That's amazing.
She invested in that best me, and I wasn't it. And now that I'm becoming it, I'm like, I'm sorry that I wasn't it. And that's a sense of maturity that I never had. So big moment. But how can we do that? And people ask, two things. When you don't have a lot of resources, you got to be resourceful.
Yes.
Right. So like, if you don't have a bunch of money, how can you find spaces to be in personal growth? And now we're lucky as could be at the time we live. There's numerous places on social media that you can find it for free, right? There's numerous places that you can find it free in Google and YouTube, the top 2 search engines, right? There's numerous places that you can go and get it for inexpensive. There's books you can get now for free, right? That will change your life or your business, right? So even if you don't have a lot of resources, you got to get resourceful, right? The first mastermind I ever joined, it was $10,000. It happened right after I lost like $400,000 in a fire. Right. And I lost like all our excess cash was gone. And I was like, we were making it, but that kind of making it where it's like any wrong move, you're dead.
Yes. It's
right?
like,
because there's no leniency, right? Like you're like, this is how much room we have. And if we go either way, we are dead. Right. And that's what it felt like. Because we had I was running out of resources. I just had to figure it a way. So this guy takes me to this mastermind group and I'm like, it was mind blowing to me seeing that kind of people, that kind of conversations happening in one room. I never had that. So I'm like, whoa, like this is different. I got to be in this room more.
Yeah.
So they tell us how to join and it's like $10,000. And I'm like, what? I don't have that right now. Right. So I'm like, so I go to the guy because I really want to join. I'm like, is there any way like, can we make these in payments? Like, is there any way? And the guy, no lie, the guy's like, I'm not Visa, brother. Right. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And he's like, I'm not a credit card company. No, you can't make payments. Right. I was like, oh shit. All right. Right. Well, at this time I didn't have any credit cards. Right. Because when I was younger, like we didn't know what credit cards were. Like I didn't know. We didn't even think they would give them to people like us. All right. So we're like, all right. So I'm like, so he gave me a hint. He said, I'm not Visa. So I'm like, what the fuck is Visa? Let me talk to them. All right. So I filled out Visa, American Express, MasterCard, Discovery, and got 4 college credit cards at $2,500 each. And took them the 4 cards and was like, hey, here's $100. And can you put the 4 payments evenly on these 4 cards? Right. And so I got into my first mastermind. And it changed my life, my business, everything. So when you're like, how do you invest? I'm like, I try to invest early, often, as much as, right? I will put myself in hard positions to invest it, to make sure I get the growth from it. Because I will say this, and this isn't like an invest in me thing. This is an invest in yourself thing. Yeah. Every time I invested in myself, whatever the number was, I multiplied that at least by 2 or more what I made from the investment.
Wow.
Right. My first time I invested 5 figures, I learned how to make 100 figures. I learned how to make 6 figures. Wow. Right. When I invested like 6 figures, I learned how to make 7 figures. Right. Like it was whatever it did added a 0 because of what I got from it. Either the connections, the relationships, the information, right. The transformation. it made me become something that could then do those things. And when I think all too often we worry about achieving goals when we have to understand that we grow to goals.
Yes, that's wonderful. We grow to goals. Wow.
No, we don't achieve them, we grow to them.
And you were resourceful, because he said one sentence and you were like, I need to go apply for visas, American Express, and you made it happen. And because you grew to your goals, other people are now also, as you're rising, you are lifting. So it starts with that investing in ourselves, but it does flow over to the other people. That's a wonderful concept, and it's going to speak to the audience. We can't always be scared to take risks. I did a keynote for CLA, and I'm very adventurous. I'm a very big adrenaline junkie. And I was talking about how to discern what is fake and what is real, because that's a big thing for me in life and in business and in everything. And the one question at the end was, when do I not trust my own gut? Because I was talking about cultivating your gut feeling. And I looked at the person, it was online, and I said, when I want to do something dangerous, because everybody always jokes with me and say, I have these huge guardian angels, because if I see, bikes or skydiving, or I just want to go. But in this scaling, in this growing, and in this investing, we have to do that and trust our gut and say, you know what? I'm going to make this happen because it's going to benefit me and it's going to help others.
100%. And I love what you said about trusting your gut, making sure that it is your gut. A lot of times when our body's wired to save us. So anytime we hesitate towards something, our body automatically thinks save us, right? And goes, no. And that's why the sales opportunity, right, is such a fearful thing, because we're always trying to make ourselves hesitate. All right. Yes. What if I can't do this? What if I'm not good enough? What if they don't like it? What if I don't have the time? What if I don't make the return? All these things make us hesitate. And then because we hesitate, we don't want to do it more because we're fearful. Our body will literally talk us out of it. But that's not our gut. Yeah. Right. That's our mind speaking to us. That's here. Right. That's here. That's fear. Right. Fear doesn't come from here. Right. Fear doesn't exist here. It only exists here because it's our imagination. It's creating the what ifs. Yes. Right? And something you said that I really want to hit on, because this pisses a lot of people off, and I love doing it.
Amen.
But
let's do it.
I sit here and go, it is our obligation, right? Oh. It's like every man born free is born in debt, right? Because we're free. True. True. Right. And this has all been said before, and I'm a huge believer and follower in this, right? Because I received grace, I used to say the dumbest line ever and say I was self-made, right? I made myself, right? And I was the dumbest line. I said it for so long. Yeah. And then I think back and I'm like, man, the way my mom loved me, right, through all the shit I did, like I literally broke that woman's heart more than I think you can break a heart. And she loved me through it all. Amazing. Right? And still to this day, right? My dad did his best to raise a man the best way he knew how, with the best way I was acting. Right. So as much as I resented and did not like it at first, now later, I wish he was still around for me to be able to say that I respect it and I appreciate it, because he did what he had to do to make a man out of me for how I was. Right. Yes. There's numerous coaches, teachers, friends, mentors, people that I think of as family. Yeah. That helped me, supported me, pushed me, right, held me, picked me up. What disrespect was I to say I was self-made? I was disrespecting all of them. I hear you. Right. So now I'm like, if you ever hear me say that, it just means that I designed who I wanted to be. That's it. Yes. I didn't get here by myself. That's a fool. That's a fool's gold, right? That's a fool's lie. Yeah. That's an ego statement. Yeah. And I said it for a long time when I needed my ego to be filled. So I received grace by so many people and so many things. It is my moral obligation to be that grace for others, or to have that grace opportunity for others to take, because of how much I received. Yeah. And I feel like that for all of us that made it somewhere, that's our moral obligation now. It's amazing. Amazing. I agree with you. I'm seeing all these kinds of pictures in my mind. And I see, I actually thought of that line that people normally say, it takes a village to raise a child. And I'm thinking it took your community around you
to take you from that place of hurt and anger and pain and to bring you where you are today. And you have now this community that does that for others. So you are, in actual fact, paying it forward. You are taking that concept and you are helping others. And it's not a lot of, Michael, there's a lot of groups out there. I've been approached by a lot of groups. But I first look at what they represent. I first look at the vibe. I first see if it's superficial or if it's real before I even engage. And we have to be very careful. And I'm sure you've met some of those groups as well before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there a lot of people in this space, the coaching space, the mentor space, right? Strategist or consultant, whatever you label yourself or identity you go by, that do not like me because how blunt I am about the space. Because there's a lot of BS in the space. I don't mean belief system.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
We're not talking about belief system. We're talking about literal bullshit. Right? There's a lot of people that really don't know how to serve, that don't care how to serve, that just want to take your money, right? That aren't going to deliver, right? There's a lot of it. And that I'm in the space, we have to be honest about it and call it out. Because if we're not, then we're helping destroy the space that we're in serving. So then we really don't care either. Right?
Yeah.
And
then we're just as bad as them.
Dead on.
Yeah. If we don't make a stand, like you said, then we are just as bad as them. So I'll rather be unpopular for talking the truth than going along with the bullshit. There's no time for that. I love it.
One of the least favorite people out there.
Well, then we'll do that part together. We won't mind. At least we're saving people and helping them.
Right. I got great company. I'll take it.
Oh, thank you so much. You're amazing. Now, you and I have been in, various spaces. We've grown. I mean, I've gone through so many character shaping times. There have been times in my life where I had to really do introspection and look at who I was. I didn't like everything that I saw. I've really gone through a lot of things. I'll be honest with you. There were pieces that I had to cut away, and I've seen in my life some very bad displays of leadership. And I've also seen the opposite. I've seen phenomenal leaders rise up and impact me. What is maybe an example of something that you saw in a leader or someone that was supposed to guide you that were, maybe they weren't doing what they were supposed to. Maybe they taught you the wrong way. What was the worst display of leadership you've seen before?
There's so many. There's so many bad ones and so many good ones.
Yeah.
I believe I'm a heavy believer about the merit of a man creates the opportunities of a man. Mm-hmm. Right. And when I say man, I don't mean man, I mean people.
Yes.
And when I was younger, it was very hard to believe that, right? Because a lot of times it was, well, their dad or mom has the right money or the right connections or the right people to get people out of trouble or in trouble, right?
Yeah.
And basketball to me was always like this area where you were like, you're even, right? Like no matter what our daddies drove, no matter where we lived, no matter what kind of anything, right? You were, it was just me versus you. And we were on this common ground and we were gonna duke it out until we figured out who was better today. Right? Yes. That's all it is. Anyone that was in enough fights know it doesn't matter who's a better fighter. It just matters who's a better fighter today. Right?
Yes.
I've won some fights I should have lost because that day I got luckier and better. Right. And I'll take it. I'm not complaining. My senior year, I was on a basketball team. My senior year, the coach took away a space of mine because he made it about, well, this guy's the son of this person, so he should play. I know the guy that's with this kid's mom, so he should play. And it took away something of mine that was a belief I had for everything, because basketball, that space made me believe it could happen anywhere. And when you took that away, it was like, now it can't. Right. Yeah. And that was one of the leadership that year, especially coming from, I had pretty good coaches coming up that were tough but good men, right? Yeah. That still to this day, one of my darkest days I remember something a basketball coach told me that changed my life. That day, it was like a decade later, and something they said that day, or 14 years later, after they said it, that thing they said was like, that's what I needed to hear. He said it 14 years early, right? So that was a horrible form of leadership, because what we have to understand, the people, you're a leader regardless. People are going to follow you regardless, right? No matter good or bad, some are going to follow you regardless. And we see that every day. We see that in politics. We see that in sports. We see that everywhere you look, right? And or organized religions, we see that. People are going to follow you regardless what type of leader you are. I think one of the things we need to do as leaders better is step into that space and just embrace it. Right? For so long, I tried to fight being a leader. I was like, no, I'm an outsider. I'm an outcast. Like, just let me roll. All right. And it was just like, step in that, own it, because then you could care about what you're actually doing for others. And I think they never stepped into that point, so they didn't see what they were doing to others. And what they looked at as very minuscule, I'm sure it impacted more than just me. And how it impacted the others, I would be interested to see how it affected their life. But that was for youth that were trying to see that opportunities and things could happen. When you take that away, how that affect the whole life could be. So that's one area I look at, but there was a million examples, but that was one that I don't talk about ever. So I figured I'd talk about it.
I'm so happy that you mentioned that, because I saw that in school as well. I literally saw how certain people were elevated and placed into positions, of our peers, because their fathers had big businesses. I grew up without a dad. I only had my mom. And we were a good family, but I didn't have the dad that was on the business boards and, had barbecues with the other dads and business dinners. And I saw that, what you just described, I saw that playing out in front of my eyes. And it really made an impression on me, a very negative impression. And I actually had to work through that rejection for a long time in my life, because I felt there was something wrong with me,
100%. Less than.
Yeah. So tell me now the other side. Let's flip the coin. What's one of the best displays of leadership that you've seen before?
Other than you, of course.
Thank you.
I'll go back to a coach. I'll talk about the coach that said that line to me years later. This coach rarely ever talked to me about basketball. I was all right at basketball. This coach barely ever talked to me about basketball. I was just like, this dude's crazy. Like, I don't understand why I never, he used to be like, I'll be on you like white on rice. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. All right. And during one game, it was like a scrimmage, and I was very, I would say, confident. Some people say cocky, right? And what I can do and how I can and how I operate. And the coach looked at me, he said, Mike, man, you're just always talking something. You ever make sure someone breathed easier because you existed? And I was like, what? All right. And then 14 years later, I'm on a stoop in Alabama. I don't know if you've ever been to Alabama.
Never.
There's some really good parts. I just wasn't in it. And I was sitting there wondering what the hell my life was about, or what I was going to do, or who I was, and all these questions. And I thought of that moment when he asked me that question. And it was like, wow, how did he know I needed to think of that long before I thought of it, right? And it was just that leadership where when you're a coach in sports, you get paid or have a job to win games. That's what you're paid to do.
Yeah.
And when people in that position can risk that pay to impact someone's life and to be who they needed to be or hear from, that's the type of leadership where you're just like, bet, right? Like, you didn't make it about you, even though you had everything to lose. And I had nothing to lose. You made it about the ones that had nothing to lose. That's exciting. That's extremely
beautiful.
I love it.
That's beautiful. And as you said that, I saw the word hero. That's what heroes do. They put down their lives, they risk it all for the safety and the sake of others. And that's leadership, really being in that space to say, well, I'm going to do whatever I can in my power to make something happen for you. To step aside to say, I'm going to make sure you get somewhere. I'm going to elevate you. I'm going to cheer you on. And it's so beautiful how life works, because when we do that, everything works out for all of us. When we really want the best for other people, It's beautiful. It's just a universal principle. You know, when you put that gratitude, like you said, out there, what does the universe do? It sends it right back to us. Now, I know you are very skilled in leadership because of your group and everything that you've been through. I've seen it. I've watched your work, and I want to ask you leadership quotes. Do you like those? Do you have a favorite leadership quote?
My favorite. I love quotes. Words are art.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
And the way you can use words to change someone's life, change direction, change faith, right? Change feeling.
Yeah.
We don't give enough power to words and understand how powerful they are. So do I love quotes? Yes, because I believe quotes can change someone's day, life, month, year, whatever. One of my favorite leadership quotes is, because we rarely ever look at both sides of the coin, but we need to, was from Jocko Willink, who extended a quote. And he said, everyone always heard that Rome wasn't built in a day, right? About patience, keep building, right? I love that quote. It's true. But he added to it, and it made it like, oh my God, like this changed the game for me in understanding our core values as a culture, right? And our culture, right? Like what we're about. And sticking to that, don't become for the money, stick to your core values and your culture, is that he said Rome wasn't built in a day, but it wasn't destroyed in one either.
Wow.
And it's the little cracks, the things that you let slide, the areas when you don't live up to it and then you continue not to. Those are the things that end up destroying what you built. It destroyed the Roman Empire. Right? It was little cracks over time, became big cracks, and then the foundation couldn't hold.
Yes.
We don't just worry about the build in the way, but worry about every step of the way, building it so you can maintain it.
Yeah.
Because it's not the fall that kills you, it's the sudden stop.
Yes.
Right? If you jump off a cliff, you will live until you hit the ground. Right? So it's not the fall, it's the stop.
That's amazing.
Let's build it in a way so we don't ever hit the stop.
I've never thought of it that way. You're opening up so many things to me, and I'm thinking of, to maybe add on to that illustration from something that I saw now. Was I lived in a home where I built a fence. It didn't have a fence, and I took meshed wire, beautiful strong wire, and I took rocks, and we built a wall of rocks. We did it in layers. And when I moved out of that house, the new owners. Now, that took me about a month, and I had I think there were 8 farm workers that helped me. Sometimes, we couldn't even feel our fingers in the evening because we had to work with suppliers to put the metal, to put the wire over for each level. So sometimes I didn't even feel my hands in those rocks, they were so heavy and they had this powder on, so your hands felt wet. But it took a month. And as soon as the new people moved in, they didn't like the fence. And they broke that fence. That took us, I think there were 8 workers and I was number 9. It took us a month to build that fence. They broke it down in 2 days. And I was speaking to my sensei because he had driven past the home and he told me, they changed your wall. And I said, Sensei, they broke down a wall that took me a month to build. They broke it down in 2 days. And he said, that's a life principle. It's much easier to break things down than it is to build them up. And I was like, I didn't think of it that way.
Right.
And that's like that with people. So be careful of those little cracks that Michael spoke about, those little things. What are examples to those in the audience who are learning? What are examples of those little things?
Right. It goes to what your core values and culture stands for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so things that we talk about, like adding your piece to the puzzle, right? So if you don't, creativity, imagination, that's one of our core values, right? Is to create a part of us, right? Be real is one of ours, like be who you are. Every day you shave your edge to fit in is a crack, right? And here's the problem with those, because I used to do this a lot. Every time you do that, you lose yourself.
True.
And then everybody else will see you as something, one, that you're not, but it doesn't matter because when you look in the mirror, you don't recognize you.
Yes.
You don't know what you see.
That's even worse.
That shit leads you down some dangerous roads.
Yeah.
Right? Because when I lost my mind and was like a suicidal maniac, was because I had no identity.
Mm.
And when you don't have an identity, you don't know who you are. When you don't know who you are, you don't know if you are someone.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of questioning your self-worth, questioning what you believe, like what you're here for, your purpose, if you have one, because you're so far off your due north.
Mm.
And it all leads to that. So I would, about being you and embracing and understanding you, I think, and being willing to show you, right? Like you said about me, is I'll show up as me.
Yeah.
Right. I'll have a backwards hat on if I want to. Right. I'll have a hoodie or a t-shirt on with the thing. I'm going to show up as me. I'm going to be me. I would rather make you love me or hate me early than try to figure it out for a year if we do. Right. Like,
what you see is what you get.
Right. And everybody's like, do you do that, for others? And I'm like, I do that for me, so I never lose me again. I want to be me as much as I can be, because then I'll remember me and I'll know who I am and I know what I'm looking at. And it doesn't mean all my parts are good. It doesn't mean I'm proud of all my parts either.
None of us
we're
are
all
perfect.
a work in progress. Yeah, we're all a work in progress at all times. The day I stop being one, end me. Right? Do me a favor and end me the day I stop being one.
That's amazing. And I'm so happy that, that you did find you and that you are sharing you with the world, because we need more of that. We definitely do. Confetti!
There's my dad used to say this quote, and I use it all the time. It's about confetti. And you made me think of it because I love the quote. It's one of my favorite quotes, and it's from my dad. And he said, Michael, the confetti doesn't throw itself, son. And he's like, when everybody's partying on the street of Manhattan, when the ball hits midnight and you see all that confetti come out, when people are celebrating, there's a bunch of people throwing confetti.
Wow.
To make the party. So the confetti doesn't throw itself. Sometimes your part is to throw the confetti. It's not to celebrate. Sometimes my part isn't on the stage. Sometimes my part isn't from the camera. That's not my part sometimes. I have to understand that, because the confetti doesn't throw itself. To make the whole experience, people talk about me a lot with Unleash You now because I'm on the stage a lot. Yeah. But if it wasn't for all the people that are behind the stage, that work their ass off behind closed doors, that are busting their ass just to make sure that thing or that event or that experience can happen for the people there, without them, it'd be nothing. There'd be no confetti, so there'd be nothing to celebrate.
Wow, how amazing is that, that I said confetti, and there's a story with Dad about confetti. That is amazing.
I got a story for everybody.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is so special, and it's true. And it imparted wisdom into my life as well. Sometimes we celebrate, sometimes we're there to throw the confetti, but we all work together to make it work.
Dang right. Takes all of us.
Absolutely. Now, reading. Do you love reading? What's your favorite book and why?
Not at all. That's a tough one. My favorite book.
There's so many.
Yeah. If you're just saying like book in general, I would go Chop Wood, Carry Water. It's probably my favorite book of all time. It dives a lot into mindset.
Yeah.
I think the ignition is your mindset. I think wherever that is, kind of the rest of you follow. Right?
Yes.
Maybe the steering wheel is better saying it's the steering wheel. But so it goes a lot into having a mindset that you can have to win and how to win and to control your life and your existence. And so if you maybe that might be, at least today, that's the one I pick. I probably pick a different one every day. But,
tomorrow it will be, there's so many.
Yeah. Tomorrow's in review. It'll be Ultimate Sales Machine or something else.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm gonna see if I can get that one to read it. I believe in mindset. Absolutely, it drives us. And it gives us direction, and it also guides our focus. I believe our focus is very, very important. So if my mind is in the right place, my focus will be aligned. And I wanted to ask you, Michael, I've never asked this in an interview before, but I really, when I thought of you, I wanted to ask you, what makes you tick?
Do you mean, what do you mean by tick?
What makes you excited and passionate about life?
Oh,
What
God.
if you see something and you're like, I'm all fired up?
Right. So I'm so simple. Like I'm a simpleton, really. Everybody thinks I'm complicated, but I'm a simpleton. Right. Like your smile fires me up.
That's good.
Right. Like when I see the energy and life behind it, I'm like, fuck yeah. Right. Like, damn right. Like there's good out here. Right. Like,
oh, thank you, Mike.
Seeing someone live their purpose fires me up. Like I love our events when I know one of our speakers, like one of the first times they're at like this type of event speaking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, right. Like to own their power, to own that moment, right. And then to pour into others for them to do it. It's like, let's fucking go. When someone does something they didn't know or didn't think was possible, like that stuff fires me up, right? Like underdogs overcoming the odds, right? Like seeing people willing to go for greatness, right? Like that stuff fuels my fire. So and the good news is that's all around us every day. So it's not hard to find.
It's beautiful. And the great thing, like you've mentioned, it is all around us. And also we get to be a part of that. We get to see those aha moments. We get to share that joy with people. That is just crazy. That's life.
No, it's amazing. Yeah, it's the good part.
Yeah. Now, you and I know, leadership journey. We've been through tough times. I'm sure you and I have both gone through disappointments. We've been stuck between a rock and a hard place. How do leaders deal with disappointments? Because sometimes we've been leading for a long time. But there is this one or two situations that catches us off guard, and then we're like, I should have known better. How do we deal with that disappointment of our shortcomings?
It's interesting. This has been a big transformation spot for me. Because I used to get so fired up by every small loss or victory, right? Yeah. I think something that we're teaching that is hurting us in the long run is that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Yeah.
There's a part of that that's true, but there's a why, there's a reason why we're doing something. There's a why to it. Right. And as a leader, we have to understand that this path isn't going to be paved. Right. The paved path is normally paved in failures, right? To success. Yes. That's how you get to success. Right. So I'm not looking at, we failed here. I'm looking at, all right, we went further down a path and found a different way. Right. And here's how never to fail.
Yeah.
You set your target and you go towards it over and over and over every day.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. You're either going to get there or you're not going to know you didn't.
Oh,
because either whatever you believe in, the universe, God, tree, dirt, like I don't care what you call it, Valhalla or heaven, like, I don't give a shit. Yeah. And either you're going to be called to another place or home, or you're going to be here to accomplish it. I'll never know if we didn't make it, because I know you're going to find me on the way or you're going to find me there. But I'm not going to know I didn't get there. I think as leaders, we're just focused on that.
I'm thanking God that I met you on the way. Really, this has been a few minutes. I mean, wow.
Now I'm going to stalk you on Facebook.
You're the best. I love it. We just clicked. This is amazing. Thank you so much. You are just awesome. I want to ask you. Thank you, Michael. How can we support you? What's next for you? Upcoming events? How can we cheer you on, elevate you?
We have like over 20 events a year. So there's a bunch of different ways that we can serve and pour into. Yeah, I don't like free time or life. It's like we're always doing something. The best way you can serve me though is to live all out. Is live the life you're meant to live. Right? Wow. Is go be the person you're meant to go. Because even if it's not with me, you're going to push the needle further, the flag further, and that's going to help my daughter, and that's going to help her kids, right? And that's going to help their kids. And so how you can serve me is just pushing whatever flag it is that you hold, because you're here for a reason. So you hold the flag, move that as far as you're meant to move it, so the next can move it further. That's all our part is to create the new masterpiece that we call life. And everybody has to do their part. And that's why I need you here. I need you to live your purpose. If you do that, you have served me the best anyone can. I appreciate you,
Wow.
regardless if it was with us or not.
Yeah. Amen. My goodness. That's the best answer I've ever had to that question. Thank you for sharing that. And
Let's go. I got one. Woo! I got one.
You did
Let's
it.
go.
You did it.
Take that, Spencer Jones. Take that. No, okay.
Oh my goodness, he's amazing. I'm gonna tell him.
Yeah, me too. Right after this.
He must be like, Spencer.
Yeah, right. Eat that, Spencer. Best answer yet.
It was definitely.
I'm going out for dinner.
Celebrate, please do. I celebrate this
connection. Have a drink on you.
Good. We can have a drink in New Jersey when I'm there.
Yeah, let's go.
Now, time has just flown with you. You know, we were having fun. We were keeping it real. We were saying it like it is. And I want to ask you the last question. And I really thank you for being here. It's really been an experience. I want to ask you if you have any words of wisdom for the audience.
Yeah, wisdom. I don't know if I got any of that. I think all too often we get caught up in talking about like you're worth it. You're good enough. Bygone it. Right. And I always say you're capable. I don't know if worth is to be determined by each individual. You're capable of doing whatever it is you want. This is what I will say. Life is going to hit us. Right. Mm-hmm. We're going to have some hard parts. Our hearts are going to break. We're going to have tears come out of our eyes. Right. We're going to get frustrated. We're going to have those moments regardless. If we do everything or if we do nothing, we will have those moments. So why not make it worth it?
Yes.
All of this ends. All this ends. Life ends. Our relationship will end at some point. Like everything ends. And rarely ever is the ending good. I've never seen someone die and they go, man, they lived long enough. Right? Like I've never heard that. Right?
That's
Betty
true.
White died at 99 and they were like, she died too young. I was like, 99? I'm like, Jesus. Right? I hope I made it. Right. But it's like, you never heard someone like, yeah, thank God they died. They lived long enough. Right. Like I've never heard someone say that. And so I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a good ending probably. Right. The endings normally aren't good. So make it worth it. Live your life, travel, see things, experience things, grow, become, try again, try over. All right. Start again. Whatever it is, make it worth it. Whatever it is.
Make it worth it. Yeah. We're not here just to exist. We are here to live. Make it worth it.
Because if we're here just to exist, did we?
Yeah.
All right. Yes, I said my greatest fear is not death. It's to live a life not worth living. That's my greatest fear.
I love it. And you know, everything that you've shared in this session, it is speaking to the audience. The right people are going to hear it. And here you are, making the world a better place. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, my dance moves. Yeah, Tonto. I said we're going to do a Tonto. There we go. Tell me a better ending.
Even the ending was better.
All right. Eat it, Spencer. I told you I was coming for your throne, Prince.
He's going to have such a laugh with us.
All right. Yeah, he's going to love it.
Yeah. Thank you from my heart to yours, my friend. You're amazing. I'm so blessed to know you, and heart to you as well. And thank you for sharing this. And I just appreciate you. You've brought so much value.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm honored for letting me share your moment, your stage with you, your platform, and letting me speak to your people. I appreciate you.
Thank you very, very much. And to the Meticulous Moments audience, there you go. You've had the privilege of experiencing Michael Fabber. Follow him on social media, network with him, and cheer him on this amazing leadership journey. And until next time, let go of the bullshit and keep it real. Goodbye.